all this is on my little t-shirt, my little tank top. Hey, 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 come on in. All right. Oh my goodness, trying to get this together. All right, that's gonna have to work. So, are you manifesting your life, or are y'all just talking about what you wanna do, what you wanna achieve? Ooh, a butterfly. I've been seeing a lot of butterflies lately. What are you guys doing? What's the action that you guys are taking to manifest? Are you actually embodying what it is you say you want? Do you believe that you can have what you say you want to have? Do you know it? It only takes a faith of a mustard seed, right? Ain't that a good book say? Somebody drop the actual scripture. Somebody drop the scripture. Okay? What are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? Drop in the comments the life that you are manifesting. And it's okay if you're just at the beginning where you're either trying to figure it out or you're trying to work through any limiting beliefs or behaviors about being able to have the things you want, being able to do the things you want to do. It is a process, especially when you've never lived this way before, especially when the people around you have their own limiting perceptions or what they feel like is limited to them, and it projects onto you. Or you've been in a place where you've been deeply programmed to believe or not believe certain things. But when you get to that point, when you are tired enough, it's in your spirit. I talked about this in my last live. It becomes in your spirit where change has to be made, like something has to be done. You can't do the things that you were doing before that somewhere in your mind you were comfortable with, but you know deep down in your spirit you no longer can live that way anymore. You guys, I must say, and I really don't like talking about too much of like the things that I'm manifesting or the things that I'm seeing come into fruition in my life and things like that. Because ultimately, I feel there's a sacredness to it, but outside of just sacredness to it, I believe that I guess it's just the humility that I have in my heart deep down inside, but I really just like to talk about certain things at this point to show other people that it can happen, that you can live the life that you want, that we are here to create a life of abundance and believe that we have it. So I really only like to talk about these things just to show other people. But when I finally decided to start really living the life that I knew I wanted, and not just out of vanity, just out of the fact that I knew deep down inside I was here to move in a different way, to be a different way, because I was in life moving like an automaton, like the rest of society, or just going with the rigmarole of life. You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point where it's like, I can't do it. You know, I know that society tells us that, oh, we have to live like this. We have to work like this. We have to do this and that. But deep down in my spirit, I knew it wasn't right. I'm like, there's no way, not for me. You know, some people I do believe are designed to live in this way. We are all different. We are all unique in our expressions. But you have to be in tune enough with your spirit to understand that you may be set apart. You may be one that has awakened to what's going on and knowing that it doesn't really fit your natural spirit, your natural rhythm of moving. So, when I started doing that, and I talk about this in my blog, I have the link in my description about, I think I named it like my life falling apart or something, but I started talking about how things will fall apart to come together when you start moving in your truth. So check that out. You know, when I started to take a little bit more control over my life in a way of how I move, knowing that working in a certain way was not working anymore, I knew that I had to start doing something. I had to start shifting. I had to start moving in what I knew my true design was. And it's not always easy to do when you've been doing certain things a certain way for so long. It's not easy. You got people around you, and lucky for me, I'll say lucky enough for me, most of my life I've had to spend a lot of time to myself on my own. So it wasn't much in my life that I was affected by different people, different voices in my head or different things in my ear, but I know everybody doesn't have that same experience. So in that way, it was a little easier for me to really kind of tune out the opinions of other people or of society and all that. I never really cared about what other people thought and had to say about how we live life anyway. So that helps too. But when you're surrounded by the opinions of other people or the indoctrinations of other people, it becomes difficult to break away from that. It does. Because you look this way, you sound this way, especially if you're living around that, especially if that's your environment. It's not easy to break out of that. But you have to start at least little by little. You have to. You have to. It's hard. It's hard. I'll say that because it's hard for me to even tell people what they have to do because everybody's situation is different. But you have to do something. You have to at that point because it may not be in your spirit enough to shift right away. That's why I call it being tired enough. You have to be tired enough because it will get to a point where no matter what people are saying, no matter what people are doing, you're gonna have to move. No matter what people are talking about, no matter what people are saying. So shift in little ways. Shift your mindset. It really starts up here. And I know it sounds cliche. Oh, it starts in your mind. Oh, it's all up here. But it is so real. Because if your mind is designed to keep you safe and to keep you doing the things you've been doing that's been working, yeah, it's going to be hard. Yes, because it's keeping you in a safe place. Sorry, I'm trying to get this little notification out of my way. It starts up here. You have to shift that. You have to believe that you can do it. Especially when you get tired. Look, especially when you get tired. When you get tired, you going to have to tell your mind, no, it's time to do something else. We may not know exactly how. We may not know exactly what. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. But start there. I guess that's what I can say. Start there. Because as you start shifting your mindset, your thinking about what you're going to accept, what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, things will start moving in that direction. They will. But again, a lot of times it's not going to be that until your spirit is fed up. Because it will, if you don't start to do it on your own, God will do it. Your spirit will do it. I don't know why these people keep circling around about their third, fourth time. And keep your head on a swivel out here, too, okay? Anyway, it starts up here. Like, you have to do it because when you get to that point where enough is enough is enough is enough, things will fall apart. Because now your spirit is aggravated. And that's why I know there's a conversation talking about, like, some people have kind of debated the goodness of God, right, or the kindness of God. Because, oh, well, if God was so good, this, and that wouldn't happen. Da, 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 da. We are all expressions of God, okay? So don't you think where there is joy, there's elatedness, there's happiness, there's freedom, you don't think there's an extreme opposite of that? God is everything, right? So that's just like a basic example in the Bible where God had to wipe out the whole nation and saved Noah and told Noah to get, one of each animal and to save his family because he was getting ready to wipe everything out. He was getting tired of how people was moving and operating in the world, not operating of godliness, not operating basically of their pure spirit. And it kind of goes into living in your purpose as well. You don't think God is going to get upset. You don't think God is going to get pissed off. If you're not expressing yourself to your highest potential, if you're going to continue to allow man to tell you your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing. I call that man's purpose. You are living man's purpose for your life. No, 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 no. And again, it gets kind of complicated because we're all expressions of God. Excuse me. So sorry. Those Zaxby salads be busting, okay? Woo! But I call it man's purpose, and I feel like a lot of society is built on that. It's built on what man wants us to do, how man wants us to operate. But no, God made you a unique expression of how you're supposed to be operating in the world. So you're here to live God's purpose for you. So you don't think that after a while, God's not going to get upset if you're not doing what God brought you here to do, but you listening to everybody else, how everybody else tells you you're supposed to be living, but you're not living, and that's in your spirit. That's the God that's inside of you. That's in your spirit. That's in your heart. That's God speaking to you. That's God moving through you, saying that I brought you here to do this and that, to move in this way and that way. So yeah, again, going back, because I don't want to get too off on a tangent here. Going back, if you're not doing that's that part of your spirit that's gonna get tired enough. That's God in essence. Like we're here to do something else. We're not doing this anymore. So something is gonna have to fall apart. I'm gonna have to wipe something off. I'm gonna have to destroy something so it can either be rebuilt or it can either really truly be in its purpose. So with all of this being said, are you manifesting your life? Are you starting to move how you know you're supposed to be moving in your spirit? Are you doing it? Or are you just talking about it? Are you talking about how tired you are, your circumstances? Are you talking about this money you want to bring into your life? Are you talking about this career you want to work, this field you want to be in? Are you talking about that art you want to sell and that art you want to create? That's a lot I be saying. Oh, I just want to do my art. I just want to. Are you doing it? Are you believing that you can really take off with it? Are you believing that you can really be successful with it? Or are you doing it? Which one is it? You have to do it. You have to, but again, it starts in your mind. You have to believe. Really have to know, but belief is like a faith, right? That faith, that little piece of faith, that mustard seed that you need to get you started. But believe that you can do it and start doing it. And you may not see the results right away. That's the hard part. That's the part I struggle with a lot. Like a lot of times I wasn't seeing the results, or maybe they didn't sustain, or but you have to keep going. If there's even the slightest bit of proof that you've gotten that you can succeed in this, or that you can be this, or that you can have this kind of money, that you can live this kind of lifestyle, believe it and keep moving in that. Because if it happened to you in that smaller instance or those smaller instances, you have to know that it's possible, because you just got a taste of it. You just got a piece of it. So you don't think that that's something that could be your life? So I want to bring it back because I think I ended up going off on my little tangent about like how I typically don't really like to talk about what exactly is going on with me, but again, just for example purposes. I was talking a little bit about the blog that I was writing about how my life was falling apart because I started to move in my purpose. I started realizing that the way I was moving was not working no matter how many times I tried. It just wasn't for me. Working in a way that's very rigid is not for me. In a way where it's just a rigmarole, day in, day out, Monday through Friday, 40, 50, 60 hours of my week. I got tired of that. And, we like to call that lazy. We like to call people lazy because they don't want to work. And I really think that it's just people don't want to work in certain sorts of ways that don't align with them. Everybody is not designed to work a rigorous 9 to 5 every single day. Some people like myself are made to kind of work on their own time and their own rhythms. Being able to get up one day and say, you know what, I'm feeling it today, or be like, oh, I'm not feeling it today. But again, you'll be called lazy if that's how you are. And for me, I don't really care too much about that personally. I know what it is when it comes to me with laziness. I mean, I can have a little laziness streak when I just want to chill out, but I just think that's human. Nobody, especially a human, was designed, even people call it robots and stuff, but even robots get tired. I worked at a job with robots, and you don't think them things was breaking down if they was overworked? You don't think they was getting tired? So you think a human is designed to just go and go and go and go and run and run and run and not to rest? That's the programming. That's the programming. Even the people who design the programs know that they're not designed to work and move like that. So why do you think that you're designed to move like that? Rest is important. It's very important, but hustle culture and grind culture got us thinking we supposed to just be on the go, 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 go. But you see how that works out for you in a few years if you're one of those people. But yeah, and I started actually living that truth, and it's been working out excellently for me. And I didn't always really see how it was gonna work out. And there's still things now that I'm like, what about this, and that? Because I haven't seen it yet, I haven't experienced it yet, or I don't have all the answers yet. But once you start actually living in your authenticity and start moving in certain ways, you will start to see the results. I can tell you that, but you have to trust and you have to know that enough is enough for you. If enough is not really enough for you and you're not tired, excuse me, sorry, you're not going to see much change because in your mind, like I talked about before, in your mind, it's not possible. It's not going to change. And with that, because in your mind, that's how it's set. That's how you're going to continue to move. So nothing is going to change from that. Okay? So start manifesting your life, which means you actually have to start putting it into action as well. You can't just talk about it. You can't just want it. You can't just, oh, well, you can't just wish. I wish, and, oh, it would be nice if. No, start doing it. And trust us will come together, all right? So thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the support. Please check out the description and check out my website where I talk more about these sorts of things and these experiences and my personal experience. And I'll see y'all later.